Good morning, huddlers. It's Money Mondays, and your regular hosts, Kimberly and Zach Odie, are not here. They're taking care of some family business. They send their love, and they will be here with you bright and early next Monday morning. And we begin today with a question to my favorite friend, Cece. Cece, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What do you call a pyramid scheme in Egypt?
I don't know.
Well, it's Egypt. It's a
Cairo.
financial scam in Egypt. It's a pyramid scheme.
I didn't get it. I did not get it.
Gio, you would have gotten it if I didn't mess up the joke.
Oh. What was the joke then?
It really goes like this. I'll ask it again. Hey, Andrea, what do you call a financial scam in Egypt?
Well, financial.
A financial scammer. Okay, no, I don't know, Sorrel.
Gio knows.
I got it now.
You got it now. It's a pyramid scheme, Andrea.
Oh my God. That's good.
Welcome to Money Mondays, where everything is allowed. You can be just the way you are and just the way you're not. Andrea loves you. Gio loves you more. Welcome, welcome. I want to ground us in being present before we dive into a phenomenal question. And that phenomenal question today is, how do you build relationships and nurture them such that you have clients for life? Giovanni Gonzalez is our special guest this morning. And right before I introduce him, I have a question for you, Andrea. How are you? And who are you going to hug today?
I am the way I say I am, Sorrel, and I am powerful. And I'm going to hug today, first of all, Mimi. That's the first hug. And the second one, my boyfriend.
All right. All right. Lucky you and lucky him. I acknowledge you as powerful. Welcome to the Daily Huddle. And I have a question for Cece again. Cece, where are you? And what are you grateful for?
I am here right now, and I'm grateful for this day.
Thank you, Cece. And Giovanni, go off mute, brother, and tell me, where are you? I can't wait to see you turn around and look to see where you are.
I gotta find myself, I'm here. I'm still here.
You're still here. This is where you are. We are here. The time is now, and we are the way we say we are. I'm delighted this morning to be introducing you to the co-founder and the inventor of the Conference for the Transformation of Latin America. This man is my friend, my brother, and a brother to all. Someone who said, I don't want my business to just impact one person at a time. I want it to impact an entire country. I want it to impact humanity. And it is inside of that commitment that Giovanni Gonzalez created, among others, the Conference for the Transformation of Latin America. And there's something that we want to learn this morning from Giovanni. We want to learn. So what is it like to create something that big? What is it like to give your life over to the transformation of an entire continent? What is it like to actually nurture clients and create relationships? that will give you clients for a lifetime. It is my honor, my privilege to introduce the #1 transformational coach and my friend, Giovanni Gonzalez. Gio, good morning. Thank you for inventing the conference for the transformation of Latin America.
Thank you, Sorrel. I am always excited to be the speaker of the Daily Huddle, and I'm the co-creator along with Mariela Romero for the Latin American Conference for Transformation. Yes. So I am excited to be here, delighted to be here, and also engage in a conversation that gives context for two things, right? Context for how to build clients, relationships that create clients for a lifetime, and also to share a little bit of why the conference.
Yeah, well, totally. Let's begin with the why. You know, I'm a big fan of Simon Sinek, who says, start with why. So, Gio, tell us, why the conference for the transformation of Latin America?
Yes, Sarah, thank you. And as you were creating the question for me, I was looking for the why, and the why it became so overwhelming that that I'm stuck in my head. Why it's such a big thing for me, it's such a big deal. But if I could make it concise, I would say that if I could give credit to my own transformation, to my own growth and development, it has been the in many ways the luck I've had to be around people who are committed to growth and development. And so I have my foundation, right, with my family. I grew up with my grandmother, and I was very lucky to grow up with my grandmother. I didn't really, at the beginning, I didn't really grow up with my parents. I grew up with her, and she was really the foundation for being a good human being. And then as I was growing up, given I didn't grow up with my parents necessarily at the beginning, I started to create some kind of a resentment towards my life and my past. And I used to call my parents by their first name, you know, Jaime and Marcela. And I'm like, I'm not friends with them.
You're not my dad. You're not my mom.
You just brought me to this world. And so, but I didn't know I was doing that. I wasn't doing that intentionally to hurt me or to hurt them. I was just a child growing, you know, but it started to create this shelf, if you will, or the shell for me, where I am always at the defense and I wouldn't let people close to me. And the problem with being on defense all the time is that I not only protect myself from, you know, strangers, from the threat of strangers, but I also protect myself from the contribution of other strangers. And so, or the contribution from people. So
hey, Jill.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, man. You've got to repeat that, right? And what I just got from what you said, don't lose your train of thought, is that when I protect myself, quote unquote, to punish others, I actually am blocking the contribution of others. Man, say it again, please.
Yes. So at the time I couldn't see it, right? I was just a human being, you know, surviving being human, right? Alive. But later I saw for myself that as I was protecting myself from the environment I was growing up, right? And from the normal conclusions, I'm not loved, I'm not worthy, and you know, I'm not good enough, all of these things that I was growing up with, my parents didn't love me enough, all of these things, as I was creating myself a kind of a shell, I started to protect myself from people. And also in Colombia, you know, there's well, I guess everywhere in the world, it's not safe to talk to strangers, you know, and so that didn't work either. So as I was creating a shell for myself to protect myself from others, I also was creating a shell to get a contribution from others, getting a contribution from others. So so I reach at this age, and I'll make the story now short. When I'm 21, 22 years old, I'm on my way to an abyss, and no one can really tell me anything because I'm not really talking to my parents. I resent my past, and I'm creating a shell from people that love me. And as I kept on creating that for myself, I'm on my way to an abyss, and I am taking substances that are not good for me, sleeping less, drinking more, all of the things, until someone introduced me, someone in some degree made me go to an event for growth and development, but they like forced me to twist my arm. They said they were not going to pay me anymore. This is the short story. It's a long story for that. And so I went, and it completely changed the rest of my life. I got a new worldview for the possibility of my life, and it happened in community. It wasn't about the person who was leading in front of the room, and it's true that person was phenomenal, but it was the community in that room that gave me these different points of views, and this kind of community that is already committed to a particular aspect that is critical for growth, which is growth and development. And so the things that at some point made sense to me that I wouldn't let in my heart, inside of that community, it made a complete sense, or not, it made a complete penetration to my heart. And so with that as a foundation, then the rest of my life became about giving that to others. If my heart was so dark at the time, and it can be transformed, anybody's heart can be transformed, or it can be, a person's point of view can be shifted, no matter how hard it is, or how hard that heart is. Now, many years later, we have a business, and it's a business in the world of leadership development and consulting and cultural transformation. And one of the things that never left me is that transformation happens, or growth and development happens, or having your life work happens in community. This notion that I'm going to read a book and I'm going to get the rest of my life, it's not complete. This notion that I'm going to study my way through life, I'm going to study my way through to what I want for my life, it's really not complete. It really is. I believe, this is not true, right? But I believe that for many years, I bought the notion that if I wanted to become Newton, if I wanted to become Albert Einstein, or if I wanted to become Elon Musk or someone like that, I needed to go inward on my own. I needed to study on my own. I needed to go inward. And the more I grew, the more success I have, the better I made my relationships work. I realized that it's the community. It's not me. Not like I'm not special, but it's not me. It's the community. So having that as a foundation, Sorel, I met Mariela at Univision, well, when she was the anchor at Univision.
Pause for a moment, Gio. I want to capture this again. You experience a transformation that just changed your life. And you discovered that transformation didn't happen because there was somebody in front of the room saying something brilliant. That transformation happened because there were other people around you. So my own personal tendency, and if you're listening, you may look for yourself and see that I have the tendency to go inward to find growth and development, when really maybe what's inside here or between my ears is pretty dangerous and more of the same. So in response to the question, why the conference for the transformation of Latin America, you are committed to giving back what you got. You are committed to the world discovering that it all happens in community. And now you're creating it. Guess what? You're also creating it in community with Mariela Romero and a number of others. So tell us about how it unfolded, that creation unfolded.
So, the creation unfolds many things. At this point, when I started talking to Mariela, and she was still the anchor in Univision, one of the things that she was looking at, and she had this purpose of creating something, or being part of something that it's about the growth and development of the community. And given that she has been working for Univision as the director for Hispanic outreach or some version of that. She has been for many years understood that where there is she finds, and I find myself that where there is a real chance to elevate the quality of life of people is on creating a conversation with that community about the transformation of the self, about how to look at oneself differently. And that's a little bit of what transformation is about. And we came together in the same purpose. And so, if you will, the transformation of the self is what we call transformation. And given our commitment to the Latin American community, then we came together, and again, to make the story short, we started meeting at 6:30 in the morning for a while to craft how it would look like. And this is not only useful for the person who is looking to develop themselves and transform who they are and have a better quality of life, but it's also useful for business. Because when you are in a room with people, with like-minded people, and that doesn't matter what industry they're in, the context of growth creates partnerships that last a lifetime. And I mean, that's how I met you. And so in my own industry, and most of you here, and so in my own industry, I meet a lot of people that are doing something similar that I do, but because we have this mission to transform businesses and to transform people, then we don't see ourselves as competition. We see ourselves as people who come together to build ourselves, to continue to grow. And organically, those relationships become business relationships as well. And then, as this is not a strategy necessarily, this is what happens when we come together to an event where we have a common mission to grow. And what happens is our relationships are built that create clients for a lifetime.
Yeah. So without making it bottling up as a conclusion, if I'm hearing you correctly, Gio, if someone wants to build relationships that create clients for a lifetime, and those lifetime clients create a revenue stream for your business for a lifetime, attend the kinds of events where you'll find like-minded people who are committed to creating a transformation or something in the world that you're committed to as well. And inside of that partnership, you begin and continue to nurture relationships that do last a lifetime.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, tell me a little bit personally for you, Gio. What does it mean for the little boy who was raised by his grandmother, resented his parents, went through that transformation to now be the one who's not only led this conference in Tampa once, then in Houston, and now you're bringing it to Atlanta with your team on the 22nd and the 23rd of April. What is it like to be living your life and looking down 2 weeks from now to now be leading this conference in Atlanta? What's that like for you?
It's a space between really exciting and really scary. They're both at the same time. They actually do live both in the same place for me. Really exciting because I do get to come together with a like-minded community, and we usually have about between 250 and 300 people in the room, and they're all there for their own growth and development. And we have about 11 speakers. They're like, they have been lifetime students in their own industry, right? On creativity, on businesses, on marketing, on healing the inner child, right? On purpose. So we have 11 different speakers. So it's really excited to be there. And at the same time, it's really scary given that, Mariela and I are the directors, the co-founders of this thing. So everything in some degrees on our shoulders, the logistics and the strategic aspect is on our shoulders. So that's kind of scary. There's significant amount of resources, and given that we can't quite afford this thing alone, we have sponsors, and our commitment is that the sponsors get 10 times their businesses that they're supporting this mission with. And so all of that together is really excited and really scary, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it in so many ways. And so those are like those two
Yeah, excited and scared. And Gio, I want to acknowledge you for being the kind of human being who throws yourself into that space, like deliberately. I'm going to throw myself into the space where I risk it all for the fulfillment of a big promise that I made. And I'm going to honor that promise as my word. So
and I want to say two things, Oro, before we jump into questions. There's a real why for me. There's a real why. There's two things: the child within me and my relationship with my grandfather. One of the things, the reason why I love growth and development is because I truly believe, or I am one of those who believes that everyone has an inner child who is limited in their capacity to express it himself or herself, and to its fullest, to give love, to feel love, and to grow. I do believe that. And that was certainly true for me. But at the same time, and so when I did growth and development, when I got this experience for myself, that got unleashed for me. I have a voice for myself. But at the same time, my relationship with my grandmother, with my grandfather, was beautiful. And he was what some people call an alcoholic. And, I would go and be with him on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, on school nights, to be with him at 3 a.m. just to take care of him while I was 8 or 9 years old. But he would just be so loving, and we would paint together, we would smoke together, we would drink together. We had such a beautiful relationship. And I know in my heart that if he would have discovered growth and development, if he would have discovered what the transformation of the self is, he would have not necessarily died with his music left in him, with his art left in him. So those two things are my why. And that's why it's so worth it to get in this space of scary and excited at the same time.
No one should die with the music inside.
Yeah.
Let's open it up for questions, Gio, and then we'll close.
Yeah, questions, comments. Thank you all for being here. Yeah, go ahead, Ronald.
Hey, this is super. Thanks for the why. The why is really makes a whole difference. But I'm gonna go a little bit deeper in this. Is there a sign in the community that you really perceive that this would help the community? Was there a thirst that were you able to point out people that say, okay, I want this, Gio, come and give it to me? Was that there for you?
Ronald, can you ask me the question a different way? Like, was there a pain I saw, and therefore I'm on my way to solve that pain? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, was there like, did you kind of find a group or some people that wanted this transformation, or did you take it to them?
Yeah, no, nobody wants transformation, Ronald. You know what people want? People want to look good. People want to be sexy. People want to have money. People want to control. People want to have power over people. People want what their brain wants, And but transformation, it's a kind of or growth and development is kind of a romantic notion, but it's not what people want. However, I find that there is a moment in people's lives when what they want is not enough anymore. What they want doesn't bring satisfaction, doesn't bring fulfillment. And for different people, it's in different stages, right? However, I do believe that with the right conversation, with the right environment, everyone connects to it. I believe that. I really believe that everyone connects to that. And the more people connect with their inner purpose, and people connect with their expression of their self, with their self-expression, with their voice, I believe that the quality of life of people elevates. We sort of take responsibility for what we can, right? And so that's kind of how I see it, Ronald.
Got it.
Yeah. I hope it answers your question.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it's a progression, definitely.
Yeah. Now, who does usually attend the conference? People who want to grow.
Yeah.
People who want to meet their ideal clients, people who want to have their next level be fulfilled. And they're ones that do. People who stay home usually don't. So when I am marketing the conference, I do market to people who are already vibrating or who are already looking to grow, to heal their relationships, to become leaders in their own world. And so those are the ones who usually attend conferences for sure.
Yeah, and Gio, for the people listening, when Giovanni attended his first such conference, he was kicking and screaming. They had to drag him. He did not want to be there. And yet his experience was the same. So I'm speaking directly to you now. If you've got someone in your life and you're thinking right now, this person is the last person on earth I would ever invite to a transformational event, that is the very person to go invite. That is the very person to go invite. You never know how and when you're going to birth the next Giovanni Gonzalez by getting them to an event, just like the conference for the transformation of Latin America, kicking and screaming. Who else has a comment or question? Robin Stern, it's so great to see you here, my friend.
Hey man, how y'all doing today? Good to see everybody. Glad I was able to stop by. When I get a chance, I always got to come and check on you guys, see how everything's going. So, and of course, Andrea, I always stop to see Andrea because I could live without seeing you guys, but not Andrea. So thanks for having me.
Gio, we've got a couple of minutes left. Tell us about the logistics of the conference for the 22nd and the 23rd of April. Tell people how to get there and how to connect.
Yes, thank you, Sorrel. Yeah, so the conference is in Spanish, and I love that we're able to do it in Spanish, and so we have speakers coming from different parts of the country and people who have devoted their entire life to a particular aspect of the industry. And where people connect, I left a link in the chat here on Zoom and also on Facebook, and it's www.transformaelfuturo.com, which means transformthefuture.com, transformaelfuturo.com. And there, people can see more about the event, the speakers, the outlines, what we're going to be talking about, and to register, that they register as well. And if they have questions, then there's a number there and people can chat and get their answer.
Yeah, and Gio, I want to extend a special invitation to all my English speaking friends. Now, the minute you heard Gio say the conference is in Spanish, your brain said, oh, I'm excluded. That's not the case. I attended the conference in Tampa. My Spanish is okay. And I'll tell you this, it's not what's spoken that transforms you. It is the environment and the community that transforms you. Do yourself a favor. Go to transformaelfuturo.com and register yourself. You don't have to be a Spanish speaker. The language is a human language. You will transform. Gio, what is your final word for today, brother?
Sorrel, I wanted to say as my final word for today is that I feel inclined to say it this way. I am so profoundly thankful for the Daily Huddle community. I have all of the roller coaster that my life has been in the last 3 years has been in the context of this community every morning. And my problems are not big. My challenges are not really big. My perspectives are always enhanced every single day. And so, so that's what the conference is about. It's about who we are. And so, so putting a light on both things, the conference is an expression of the Daily Huddle community. So I just wanted to say that.
And so thank you everyone for being the shoulders upon which such a conversation stands. And that conversation is for you to build relationships that create clients for a lifetime. That conversation is for you to generate the money your business wants to generate so that you can feed your community, your family for a lifetime. The conference is for you. You are the Daily Huddle family. You are the originators of the conference for the transformation of Latin America. And I'm profoundly grateful for you. So go off. Tomorrow we have a phenomenal guest. Her name is Jalen Jones. She's going to be inside of the topic of health and wellness. We start at 9 a.m. as usual. I'll be looking forward to seeing you here. Giovanni, thank you for being our guest this morning. All of you, thank you for giving your time and attention. And we'll end this way. Go forth and love. Laugh out loud. Stress less. Eat mostly plant-based even when you don't want to. You know, the time you go into the pantry and something calls your attention, just turn right back around and go to the refrigerator and grab an apple. Give, sleep, move your body, and last but not least, check your assumptions. I'll see you tomorrow morning right here on the Daily Huddle. Welcome home.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks.
See ya.
Thank you,
Yeah.
everybody. Have a great rest of
Have
your
an
day.
awesome
This
day.
was awesome.
Have an awesome day, folks.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.